Hello, in this video we will see the implementation of slowly changing dimension type 2. Before start with the actual mapping creation, we will first look out the data, how the data travels from source to target. So we have two records at staging table. So this is the typical example of resource staging table. Data comes from resource staging table to the resource dimension table. So at very first run we have only two records in the staging table, source staging table, whereas at target table we don't have any records. So when we run the workflow for first time, all records which are there in the staging table will directly get inserted into target table, that is dimension table. If you see, these are the dimension table records after the first run. So on 10th of Jan, two records got inserted from source staging table to target dimension table. If you see, you can find one additional column as current record flag. Basically, current record flag, using the current record flag you can identify actually the active records. So why there is a need of having one extra column as current record flag is, in slowly changing dimension type 2 you actually store the history of resource profile. So if there is any change in the resource profile, so that change you cannot save, or that change you will not identify at staging table, whereas that particular profile change you can easily identify at dimension table. Let's say on 11th of Jan, Manda's job description got changed from project associate to associate. So if you see, in staging table there is only one profile of Mandar. So by looking into it, you just cannot identify if there is any change at all in job description for Mandar. But whereas what happens at dimension table is, the first record of Mandar having job description as project associate will get end dated with end date as 10th Jan, because on 10th Jan that job description change happened actually. So the old profile which was already exist over here, that got end dated, and a new profile got created altogether having job description as associate, which is the current job description. So for this profile the end date is null and start date is the 11th of Jan, and over here the old profile's current record flag got updated to N, and for new profile the current record flag is Y. So at a time you can find only one profile is the active profile having current record flag as Y. One more thing one more thing I need to point out is, if you see, the ID column is the primary key at staging table, whereas the same ID column is getting repeated at dimension table. So obviously you cannot have ID column as a primary key in dimension table. So just to identify each profile uniquely, you need to have one more key, and we call that key as surrogate key. So surrogate key basically is a data warehouse concept. So it's an extra key which we add at dimension table just to identify each particular profile uniquely, whether that profile is active or inactive. So basically each active profile will have end date as null and current record flag as Y. So the three important columns are start date, end date. So by using start date and end date, you can actually identify the time duration of particular profile and how the new profile, or at what duration the new profile got created. Like in this case, on 10th of Jan, Mandar's old profile got end dated and new profile having new job description as associate got created. And for this new profile, the end date is null and current record flag is Y. So now we'll start with actual mapping creation. Our source table is WOP पर आगे पहले पेस्ट कीजिए staging table. Target table is so mapping basically looks like this flow. So if you see here, we have source, that is staging table. Will look the each and every record which is coming from the source. We will verify that record at target table. If that record is not exist at target table, we will simply insert that record. If that record is already exist at target table, we will just verify if there is any changes at all for these 4 columns which I highlighted: first name, last name, job description and manager name. So if at all there are any changes, if there are no changes at all for on those 4 columns, we will simply update that particular record. If we find any changes in those 4 columns, what we'll do is the existing profile will end it, that is will make the current record flag as n and will mark end date as sysdate, and for new profile the start date will be the sysdate, current record flag will be y, that is the active profile, and end date will be null. So after the source qualifier we will need to have a lookup. So let's add expression first. We'll change the GES update date as sysdate. After that we'll add router transformation just to identify record is there in the target table or not. So before that we need to have a lookup transformation. So we'll do the lookup on target. Target table will be WOP association. Condition will be on ID column. We'll add one more expression after it. Just to identify ports which are coming from the lookup, what we'll do is we'll rename the ports with prefix as LKP. So basically all ports after surrogate key are coming from lookup. So we'll just prefix those all ports as LKP. after expression will verify if that particular record coming from lookup is null or not, and based on that we'll route the records for inserts or updation. So in router we basically have two groups. One is new record, another one will be the existing record and old record. So new record, if surrogate key which is coming from the lookup is null, then that record is the new record. Or if the surrogate key which is coming from the lookup if the surrogate key is exists and it's not null, that means the record is old record or record exists at target table. So if the record is totally new, we will simply insert that record. So obviously if record is new, all ports which are coming from lookup will have null values. So to insert a new record, we will connect only ports which are coming directly from the sources. To insert new record. Into location, GS update date will be sysdate, start date, obviously coming from source, and there are two extra columns, that is current record flag and surrogate key. So current record flag for active newly inserted record will be always 1, and end date we really do not require it, because for active record there will not be any end date, and surrogate key we will populate with sequence generator transformation. So one thing you need to note is, when you are populating surrogate key using the sequence generator transformation, that sequence generator has to be a reusable one. So basically if you create any particular transformation at transformation developer, automatically that transformation will become reusable. So just connect it, and this will be and one more, so that will be always 1 for new record, active record. So we have done with 30% of mapping. The other thing which is remaining is, in case that record exists, how we have to deal with the record. So we'll just again look at our logical design. So in case the record is exist, we first have to verify if at all there are changes like SCD2 type codes, which we have decided first name, last name, managerial name and job description. So if you find any changes in those particular columns, then we have to update old record and insert new record, and if in case there is no change at all, then we'll have to simply update the existing record, or even that is not required. So we'll add one more expression. We'll populate all lookup and source codes to this expression. We'll add one more port over here. Just to validate if at all there is a change in the SCD type port. So we'll verify if there is a change in new record and existing old record. First name or last name. Or job description. Managerial name. If there is a change, then yes or no. Let's validate condition. Now we'll add router over here. Again we'll populate all ports ahead. And router will have two groups basically. SCD and change. So basically SCD and change will have value for a port SCD change as no, and in case of SCD change the value will be yes. So in case there are no SCD type 2 changes in newly incoming record, we will simply update that particular record SCD unchanged expression. To update a record, we really do not require all the codes. So we'll just require surrogate key value, and basically we need to update only end date and the current record flag. Sorry. In case of SCD unchanged, we require all the codes. We'll add update strategy in between. Update unchanged SCD. We change the property from insert to update. And we will simply update all records as it is. Obviously end date will not be anything, that is null. Start date coming from the source. GS update date will be seen coming from the source, and current record flag will also be the same. So we have done with one part. Remaining part is if at all we found any change in the SCD type ports, then in that case existing record we have to embed it, and we have to create new record. So for that we'll require 2 additional targets. We'll add one more expression after the after. Clear all the codes. In case of updating existing old record, we only require surrogate key, that is the primary key for that particular primary key to identify that particular old record. So update old record. So we'll just populate surrogate key. We'll add 2 more columns, that will be the flag, and this current record flag will be n. And then another port will add is the end date. End date will be the switch date forward profile. As we are updating the record, we also require update strategy in between. Otherwise, that record will get inserted. Update old SCD. We'll change the property from insert to update. By default, 0 means insert. So the old profile got ended. Remaining task is to create a new profile. So for new profile, we will have to take the values, new values which are coming from the source. So we'll add one more expression. Insert new profile. The ports. GS updated. Start date for new profile will be the switch date plus 1 will be. So add up to date. And current record flag obviously will be Y for new profile. Another thing is we need to populate surrogate key for new record. So surrogate key we will get from the sequence generator, which has to be a reusable. Connect this. So we are done with the mapping creation. One more thing is remaining is whenever we are transferring data from staging table to the dimension table, that has to be a incremental load. So just to implement the incremental load, we have to introduce TW jobs table. So source will be the DW jobs, even the target will be DW jobs. As we need to update only this particular mapping, what we will do is we will consider only mapping with SCD. We'll add it over here. For that we need to add SQL override in between. Mapping has to be SCD Type2. That's what it is. We have to update these records, so that's the reason we require update strategy, and we'll update that record with last successful completion date as one more day. So last date has to be date. It will be last successful completion date plus 1. Add to date. Date will be last successful. We'll pass these codes from the strategy. We have done with the mapping creation. There are few cosmetic changes which are remaining is our source qualifier query also we need to change just to introduce the incremental load. For that we'll require our source qualifier override for incremental load. If you need any more information on incremental load, just go through the video of incremental load. One more thing is at lookup level, while checking the record existence at target level, if there can be n number of profiles exist simultaneously for particular ID, so in that we only require the active profile. So in source qualifier, in lookup override also we will add query like it will pick only the active profile for comparison. So we'll add where clause current record has to be y, and end date has to be null. We'll just verify this query. Query is fine. We will verify once again source qualifier override. One more thing we have to do is we have to change the mapping name. Change the start date to 2nd of Jan. source qualifier query has to give 2 records. DW jobs table has GS updated as 1st Jan. Our source table has GS updated as 2nd. That's the reason source qualifier query is giving 2 records. We'll verify the mapping one by one. So all the rows, target load plan has to be, this is correct. DW jobs table has to get updated at the end of the mapping. And we'll check the flow one by one. We'll rename the target table so that we can easily identify the records. This will be totally new record. This will be the unchanged SCD Type2 record. This will be update old record, update old SCD profile. This has to be insert new SCD profile. Save the mapping. We'll validate the mapping one by one, each flow. So in case of insert new record pipeline, source qualifier query has to give upper records. We'll just verify the source qualifier query once again. It's giving the record, so it's fine. Lookup query has to be with condition as current record flag as y and end date as null. So even if this is fine. SCD2 type change. Yes and no. Inside my SCD profile. Yes and no SCD type changes. Just validate the value. This is yes and no. So in case of yes, to insert record and update the profile. So over here we are inserting one record and simultaneously we are updating the old record. This has to be DD update. So it's fine. There is no SCD changes. So in that case we will simply update the records. So it has to be dd update. This has to be connected. You can change records. It is not connected. Connector of flag has to be in, so it has to be same as coming from the source. So this is fine. Inserting a new record will be quite simple. So I think we have done with the mapping creation. Start date of new profile has to be the sysdate +1. So we'll just verify that. That's fine. So then with the mapping creation we'll create the workflow for it. Create the session task. We'll link these two tasks. We'll check the connections. Run the workflow. We'll verify if at all there is any record at target table or not. In case, so we'll translate this table. So we cannot require any. Now there are no records at target table. Source level there are 2 records. Source qualifier query is returning 2 records. So it's returning 2 records. So basically when we are running now the workflow should insert these 2 records from source to target. Start the workflow. So if you see here, source qualifier query has returned 2 records. 2 records got inserted at insert new record. 1 record of DW jobs should have been updated at DW jobs table. We will verify at target level. DW jobs table, 1 record got inserted instead of updation. That's because we must have not add the update strategy. So because of this the record got inserted. Verify the record at target level. Over here if you see records got inserted correctly, but as there is some mismatch at DW jobs table, what we will do is again update those records. Basically we'll delete records from DW jobs table, the extra record. Again we will see whether source qualifier query is returning two records or not. Source qualifier query is returning two records. DW jobs table has last successful completion date as 1st of Jan 2009. So if we will again run the workflow. So again two records got inserted. One record at DW level must have been updated. We'll verify the same. So the last successful completion date became 2. Earlier it was 1. So now our source qualifier query will not return any record. We'll verify the records at target table. So if you see, same two records got inserted from source to target, and in this case we have additional column as CDWOPS resource ID, which is a surrogate key, and end date for this active profile is null as expected, and current record flag is Y, because only two records exist and these two are active records. Now what we'll do is we'll change job description for Mandar from project associate to associate. At the same time we have to change the PA update code also. That will change to 3rd. Run the source qualifier query. Source qualifier query should return one record now. So it's returning the latest updated record of Mandars. We'll commit these records. We'll run the workflow again. So if you see here, insert new SCD type profile, one record is there. Update old SCD profile, one record is there. DW jobs, one record is there. We'll verify target level. So if you see here, still there are only two active profiles which are having current record flag as Y. One profile got indated on 7th of Jan, and at the same time new profile got created on 8th of Jan 2009. So old profile from 8th of Jan 2007 to 7th of Jan 2009 has job description as project associate, whereas the profile which got created on 8th of Jan 2009 has job description as associate, and this is the current active profile with ended as null, current record flag as Y. And what we'll do is we'll update two profiles. We'll change Sudhi's job description from project associate to site lead, change the GS update to 4. And at the same time change for Mandar's job description also to on-site lead. So here we have changed job description from job description of both the profiles to on-site lead. We'll commit these changes. We'll run the workflow and we'll see what happens. So if you see, 2 records got updated, 2 records got inserted. We'll see the actual records at target table. So if you see, here, Sudhir's profile, there are 2 profiles exist. One profile got dated on 7th of Jan, and same time on 8th of Jan new profile got created, which has job description as on-site lead. So this is the latest profile for Sudhir, having current record flag as a Y and ended as null. At the same time, we have changed the job description for Manda's profile also. So earlier it was, at very first time it was associate, after that it got changed to project associate. So that profile was from 8th of Jan 2009. Sorry, earlier very first time it was project associate, that got changed to associate. So that profile exists from 8th of Jan to 7th of Jan. So this became an invalid profile. For that, current record flag is N. So this is the inactive profile. And on 8th of Jan again, a new profile got created having job description as on-site lead with ended as null and current record flag as well. So if you see here, if you observe here, the advantage of SCD Type2 implementation is we can actually track what all changes happen in the resource profile. So start date and end date are 2 columns which can help us to identify the time duration for a particular profile, and current record flag is a column which actually determines which profile is active. So this is how we'll implement slowly changing dimension type 2 in Informatica. Informatica also provide provisions to create the SCD slowly changing dimension by its own. It provides the so if you see here, over here it provides the option of all SCD types. So using these types you can actually create whatever the types you require in slowly changing dimension, and same as for the incremental load. We'll see this in some other time. Thanks for watching this video.